The Empire Strikes Back ended on a pretty big cliffhanger. The Empire was still a huge threat and the group was starting a search for Han Solo so they could save him. So Return of the Jedi came along to give us a satisfying conclusion. Han Solo would be saved and the Empire would be stopped, and the film we got did exactly that and was definitely a satisfying conclusion to the trilogy. George Lucas co-wrote the screenplay with Lawrence Kasdan, who of course wrote Empire and now has written The Force Awakens as well. The film we got is, in my opinion, simultaneously the best and worst in the trilogy. People are generally split between it. A lot of people consider it to be the worst, but there are quite a few people out there who consider it to be the best in the trilogy. The film starts with a plot to rescue Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt. However, the plot fails and they are captured. Jabba holds Leia as his prisoner and then sentenced Luke and Han to death by being eaten by a Sarlacc pit. R2-D2 fires Luke's lightsaber and they all then battle their way out. During this battle, Jabba and Boba Fett are killed and the ship is blown up with the others just getting away. While the rest of them go to the Rebel Alliance, Luke goes to Dagobah to see Yoda. When he gets there, he finds that Yoda is dying. Yoda confirms that Darth Vader is his father, and before he dies he says that there is another Skywalker. He then sees the spirit of Obi-Wan, who tells him that Princess Leia is his sister. Obi-Wan says that to stop the Empire he must defeat Darth Vader. The Rebel Alliance discovers that the Empire are building a new Death Star and are being supervised by the Emperor. The Death Star is protected by an energy shield, so the only way to allow a squadron to go in and destroy the Death Star is if they destroy the generators on the planet of Endor. They all go to do this but are captured by a tribe of Ewoks. They manage to gain their trust and they agree to help them stop the Empire. Luke tells Leia the truth about how they are related and that he has to defeat their father. He surrenders to Imperial troops and Darth Vader once again tries to convince him to join the dark side. Luke is taken to the Death Star to meet the Emperor, who tried to convince him to join the Empire. The Emperor starts to taunt him and Luke snaps and tries to kill him. Darth Vader stops him, however, and the two have a lightsaber battle, which is in my opinion the best lightsaber battle in the entire series. No other lightsaber battle has this much emotion packed into it. It's beautifully shot and everything about this battle is awe-inspiring. On Endor, they manage to destroy the generators, which allows Lando inside the Millennium Falcon to go inside the Death Star and destroy it. Luke goes insane on Darth Vader and cuts his hand off. And then the Emperor comes in and starts using his Force lightning on him. Luke starts crying and asking his father for help. Then Darth Vader picks the Emperor up and kills him. However, doing so weakens Darth Vader. Luke tries to escape with him, but he doesn't make it. Before he dies, he asks Luke to take off his mask so he can see him one last time with his real eyes. Luke returns to Endor, gives his father a funeral in which he is cremated, and then celebrates his victory with the rest of the group. And that's Return of the Jedi. Now, this is the only film in the original trilogy that I actually have big problems with. Problems that actually ruin the film for me. The biggest problem being the Ewoks. The Ewoks are incredibly annoying. They were obviously added in there because kids will find them cute, but no, they're not cute, they're annoying and ugly. Plus, they somehow managed to have enough strength to defeat stormtroopers. I mean, I know there are a lot of them, but wouldn't that basically be the equivalent of a 5-year-old taking down a heavily armoured soldier with some rocks? Also, in many ways, I don't find this film as fun as the previous two movies, but I think a lot of that is intentional. This far and away is the most emotional movie in the trilogy. There are many hard-hitting scenes that even after seeing hundreds of times still make me tear up, including Yoda's death scene, the scene where Luke tells Leia that they are related, and of course the final scenes between Darth Vader and Luke. You can tell that Luke really doesn't want to fight his father, and the scene where he takes off his mask one final time before he dies is beautiful. There is no way, if you're a Star Wars fan, that you don't choke up a little bit during that scene. The emotional edge to this film is really what makes it so good. Of course, the action scenes are also really good, especially in the final act. I'm not a huge fan of the speed of chase, and of course the Ewok scene is terrible, but the rest of the battle sequences are great. The film as a whole, however, is just not as exciting as the previous two movies. Of course, many of the things that made the previous movies great return here. The effects once again are really good, and the new sets all look beautiful. The film also has a lot of the darkness that the previous movies had, but it seems at the same time they're trying to be a little bit more lighter and more family friendly. The Ewoks really ruined the tone of the movie. Without them, this would have been a much better film. It's the final film in the series. This should be the darkest one. This should be the most violent one. It shouldn't be muddled between trying to be dark and trying to be suitable for kids. But if there is one big thing about this film that I love, then it has to be the last 20 minutes. And I'm talking mostly about the scenes between Darth Vader, the Emperor, and Luke. Honestly, this section of the film may be my favourite section in any movie ever made. This section leaves me with my heart pounding, but also leaves me getting emotional. The music really helps this scene because John Williams' score in this scene is breathtaking. I think this is some of my favourite music in the whole series. If the whole movie was like this last 20 minutes, it could not only be my favourite film in the series, but also my favourite film period. But it's the Ewoks and the muddled emotions that really bring it down. And it's weird for me to not give this film a perfect score despite its flaws, but honestly I just can't. There isn't much else really to say about this movie. I still really like it and have a hell of a fun time with it, but it's got too many problems for me to ignore. So I give Return of the Jedi a 9.5 out of 10.